Welcome to another edition of the Smiling Coast here on QTV, and this program is brought to you in association with the Gambia Tourism Board. I am Ibrahim Abalde. This is the program that highlights all that destination Gambia has to offer when it comes to tourism. Gambia is the place to be. Gambia is the smiling coast of Africa, where the coconut leaves dance to the rhythm of the wind. As I mentioned earlier, this is the right place to be. Gambia is full of very, very nice places where you can visit for tourism and visitors alike. This is the right place to be. If you're thinking of coming for tourism, well, that's a good idea and that's a good choice. Come to the Gambia and you will enjoy your stay. Last week we conducted an interview with the management of the Gambia Tourism Board. They discussed their plans to move Gambia tourism forward. And of course today we'll talk to key people in the tourism industry, and they will share with us their tourism stories, how they started and some of the things they'll be doing. But we're going for a short break. After the break, the program continues. Welcome back from that break. As I mentioned, this is the Smiling Coast here on QTV. This program is brought to you in association with the Gambia Tourism Board. And of course, as I mentioned previously, after the break, we'll talk to key people in the tourism industry who will share with us their tourism story. Well, we decided to talk to Mrs. Ida Cham of Yabba Cooking. Ida Cham is a very influential person when it comes to tourism in the Gambia. Well, we conducted an interview, and this is what she has to share with us.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Smiling Coast on TV. This is Yabba Cooking. Tell us briefly who you are and where are we?
My name is Ida Cham Jai. I studied in England. I did hotel tourism and catering management. Then I came back 1989. From 89 to 2005, I was working at Senegambia Beach Hotel. And in that hotel, I've worked in every department. Because when I came back, I did a management training for a year. Then afterwards, I was given the post of food and beverage coordinator. Afterwards, purchasing manager, guest relations, and finally sales and marketing. Then I resigned for a more challenging job to Mandina Lodge, Makasutu. There I was the GM. I worked there for 2 years. Then 2008, I resigned for the iBoy Home Cooking.
Which is your own thing?
Yes, which I innovate.
Very good. It's like a product.
Yeah, it's the product. And really it's becoming very popular. Because what I do here is guests will come to my house, put an African outfit. We go to the market together, buy the products, come back to my house. We cook together, eat together, and exchange cultural values. That's what I do.
Right. I was informed that you went to Nigeria and there was this cooking competition and you emerged to be the winner of the jollof rice. Tell us something about it.
Really? Where is jollof from?
Jollof.
Jollof is from the sub-region here.
Yes.
I think it's ours.
Yes.
So I went there and I proved it. I took first.
What was the price?
Very good. Yeah,
price.
Yeah, good price.
All right. Right now, some people may be watching this program in the Gambia and outside the Gambia. So what would you like to tell them about Yabba Cooking and the Gambia?
Coming to the Gambia without coming to Yabba Cooking, you're missing a lot. Because here, whatever I'm doing is organic. And as you know, eat what you grow what you eat. And that's what I'm trying to advocate for.
Now, when it comes to the condiments and the materials, the products that you need at the market, Do you sometimes visit Tanje at the fishing center?
Yeah, that's what I go. That's the place I go because there everything is organic, and I believe those people because they grow their own vegetables, sell to help their families, and I'm working with some of them because I also have microfinancing. I have a foundation, so what I do, I give them microfinancing and they pay me back without interest. Some of them, and I am so lucky that nowadays I have a partner in England called One World Women. What they do, they will bring business people from England to the Gambia here, and they help them on mentoring and coaching and helping financially. And there are some people who benefited from it. Yeah.
Do you really believe that the benefits of tourism should trickle down to the local people?
Obviously. Obviously, and I think, as you know, if everybody benefits in tourism, even the last one in the market, they benefit from it. Obviously, why not? Yeah. And do you know what I believe? Because now tourists are looking what they don't have in their countries, and this is what we should introduce in the Gambia, and it's coming up. Nowadays, there is no nightlife program. The young ones should innovate. They should do something like that, something. For the night, so that people, when tourists come, they can go and enjoy themselves. We don't have it now in the Gambia. Let somebody come up with it.
If somebody is coming up with it, what would you advise for us to do?
I advise let it be authentic. Anything they're doing should be authentic. Because what these people are doing now, all of them are now traveling responsible. Now, responsible tourism are coming to the Gambia, so which is very good for us.
Responsible tourism, for those of you viewing, it is to make a place like the Gambia a better place for Gambians to live in and a better place for visitors to come and visit. That is the concept of responsible tourism. So, Ida, on a wrap-up note, what would you have to tell those watching you at QTV and those who may be watching you from outside the Gambia?
Yeah, let's be proud of what we have. And whatever you're doing, be focused, determined, you will make it in life.
Interesting conversation there, Mrs. Cham with Mr. Kebe. Thank you very much, Kebe, for that wonderful interview. Very interesting. And of course, Gambia, it's the place where you come and people smile for you. Gambia, it's the country where tourists can move about until late hours in the night. Gambia is the country where you can move about freely. So this is the smiling coast of Africa. It's the heaven of Africa, Gambia. And of course, we also spoke to Mr. Jaula of Rainbow Beach, Sanyang. He also shared his tourism story with us. It will be very, very important for us to go and hear from Mr. Jaula of Rainbow Sanyang Beach. Well, let's talk to Mr. Jaula.
This is Mr. Usman Kebe with Lamin Jaula on Rainbow Sanyang Beach. And today we are looking at my story, tourism story.
You're welcome.
Please introduce yourself.
I am Lamin JJ Jaula of Sanyang Village. You're welcome.
Lamin, first of all, we would like to ask you, Rainbow has been a place known by a lot of people and people like visiting here. Tell us your tourism story. Where did you begin tourism?
I began my tourism at the Kairaba Beach Hotel. That is then the first 5-star hotel in Gambia. And I began by applying at Kairaba for a voluntary training in all the 3 sectors. That is the food and beverage control, stores, restaurant, and bar. That is where I started as volunteer. I was just curious. I just wanted to know how tourism operates, to have a better idea. I went for a voluntary training in these areas, which were, together they function better. But I had no idea what I will do next. But that was how I started.
Now, when you started and you found it very interesting, so what was your next step?
Yeah, actually, my first month of voluntary training, then there was somebody called Niels. And Niels said, look, this gentleman is very hardworking. Although he has applied for voluntary training, we are going to pay him half salary. That was for my first month. And second month, you know, based on what they have discussed in the office at that high level, management level, they said, let's give him an appointment letter. So by chance, I just got my appointment letter, and they said, look, management has appreciated your work, and we have employed you. And then that's how I started the hotel industry. You know, eventually, yes, I was employed, and I worked at Kairaba Beach Hotel for 10 years.
From which year?
This is from 1990. 1990 till 2000. Actually, 12 o'clock, 1999. I had that was New Year's Eve. I just had a second thought that it was enough for me at Kairaba, and I decided to just tender my resignation. That was just after midnight. I said I want to go somewhere, but that is I already have in my head that I want to come to Sanyang Beach and do together with the community here, do something and make Sanyang Beach a better place, to share my experience with them.
All right, I know you have the idea of giving back to the community by employing some members of the community, and maybe you may also have some projects that you want to support in the community. Tell us something about that.
Yeah, first and foremost, I know the #1 problem I thought I knew would be my problem, or the restaurant's problem, would be human resource. Because that was not here at the time. When I say it was not here, the training, people have not gone under training to give customer service the way it should have been given. And having expected that, when I came, I became a trainer. I know I have to train people. Yes, I had to train people to make sure they work as according to the taste of customers, or to give customers the product or the service they expect. So, yes, we did that because I have never worked with anybody who has worked in a hotel. Most, I would say, until now, 95% of staff have been trained here. They have been kept here even through the off-season, when other people will think, we are not very business conscious, because if you want to develop community, you don't think of profits. Our concept was to build our community, to have a base for tourism product in our community, which needs a lot of sacrifice, and it needs some, you have to forgo profits to do that. But of course, I have always been involved. When I came to Sanyang, this was in 1988-89. That was for the first year I came to Sanyang. I have always been involved with youths. I have always been involved with youth activities, and based on that, yes, I know that is the passion I have to community development, and that passion will never go away. So from then until now, whoever you ask in Sanyang will tell you, Jaula is always involved in community activities.
All right, I understand from our chats that you have been involved in other community clubs where you give back to the community. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, there is no successful story without the story that you give back to the community. For me, but also it satisfies my inner being. Whenever I support my community, that is me, because I am the community, and the community is me, because I am the representative of that community. My kids, everything belongs to that community. So without giving back, I don't want to mention what I have contributed. Mainly, whatever I can be able to give back to the community is the first institution that gives me the opportunity to be able to do something for that community. So it's like an egg and chicken situation. So there is never a chicken without an egg. So without the community, I can never have an opportunity to give it back, to give something back to the community. So, but it's a good feeling, and it's always a good feeling. It will always be a good feeling to do something for my community.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jawla. That's the time we have. Yeah. But we'll have you again, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jawla, for that wonderful interaction as well. We also spoke to Mr. Bayo of Tanje Village Museum. Museum is a place where we keep ancient things. And of course, Mr. Bayo of Tanje Village Museum managed to create his own museum. This is amazing. And of course, for those of you who have never visited the Tanje Village Museum, well, this is an opportunity for you to hear from Mr. Bayo.
This is the Smiling Coast on QTV.
My name is Abdullah Bayo. I am the proprietor as well as the director of Tanje Village Museum. This museum is the first private museum in the country, and it was built in 1997. And it's an ethnographic as well as natural history museum, and it's divided into 4 main areas. The first area is the Natural History Gallery, where we exhibit insects, birds, reptiles, Gambian food, Gambian drinks, etc. And this same gallery is divided into 2 main parts. One part talks about traditional musical instruments of Senegambia, ethnic-wise. Like all the major ethnic groups are represented, such as the Mandinkas, the Fulas, the Wolofs, etc. And the second one deals with wildlife in the Gambia. This is a very good piece of work that was put together in collaboration with Parks and Wildlife. That's the first bit. And the second one talks about our indigenous craft, such as weaving, tie and dye, batik making, leather work, etc. This gallery is very important because, as we know, traditional crafts are dying very fast in this country due to tourism, Western education, etc. And the third part talks about a Gambian way of life more than 150 years ago. We try to exhibit the different types of farming implements that people were using, cooking utensils, farming tools, etc. And the final part talks about plants, nature trail. We've got about 60 different species of plants in the Gambia, in the museum, and most of them are named and numbered. And we have a small guidebook that we call Nature Trail Guidebook. This guidebook tells you about the use of these plants in our traditional medicine, their food values, etc. We cannot emphasize the importance of trees in this country because there is a lot of deforestation taking place. As a result, our flora and fauna is disappearing, and there is a need to preserve this. Basically, these are the 4 main areas of the museum. However, this museum has got some facilities, such as a hostel built in the traditional Gambian manner for people who would like to experience our way of life. They could come there, spend the night, etc. And we also have a bantaba. A bantaba is a Mandinka word meaning a resting place, place for entertainments, place for meeting, etc. And in the bantaba, we have our musicians. They call themselves, we call it Tanje band, musical band, or Sabina. And they are always here to entertain our guests. We have a kora player, a drummer, a djembe player, etc. And basically, this is what the museum is all about. The main aim and objective of this museum is trying to put the entire Gambia under one roof in terms of culture, environment, etc. For example, what you are seeing here today is a very good representation of what you would have seen if you have traveled all over the country. And I am proud to say that we have put in a very strong environmental education into this museum. Because as we all know, the Gambian government has introduced what we call social and environmental studies in schools. And the Tanje Village Museum happened to be one of the best places where people come, learn about the culture and the environment. Basically, this is what the museum is all about.
This is the Smiling Coast on QTV in Gambia.
Come back here, that was very interesting. Mr. Bayo of Tanje Village Museum. You've heard what he said when it comes to the whole aspect of the museum in Tanje. He did his own museum because it is very, very important. There are certain things that people will like to know, and it is very important for you to go and visit such a place to find them there. The Food and Beverage Festival, which is organized by the Gambia Tourism Board every year, it's coming again, and we conducted an interview last week about the Food and Beverage Festival, which is coming very soon, and so we'll take a look at that interview and we'll be back. Thank you for that. We'd like you to tell us, what is the Food and Beverage Festival, as abbreviated F&B, all about?
The Food and Beverage Festival is all about us Gambian at the GT board trying to promote the culinary of the Gambia, the Gambian gastronomy. Because if you look around, if you travel around the world, you see in so many countries that they have their recipes, local recipes, which everybody knows. Like when I was in Indonesia, like people travel there just to taste the food there. So that's the concept that we brought up here in the Gambia, to say that why not have people come in and then have the taste of the local dishes of us. Today, people like the kids, they don't know much of these local dishes that we have. So if we have people gathered in an area for them to showcase what they have and then tell people how to cook it and then people taste it, I think that's going to be a big thing for us.
I'd like to know what date is slated for the event and the ticketing and what are some of the things that people should expect.
Okay, this year the dates are from the 26th to the 28th of April. Usually we have it 3-day, and then the last day, which is the 28th, is going to be for the kids. We're going to have a children package where it's going to be sort of like a lunch and sale. You'll have kids with entertainment. They will be coming. We've been to the schools. We're sending our awards to them, and then we wrote to their principals as well to invite the kids to come and have fun. Because as we can see, we don't have many events in the Gambia. So once in a while, it's good to bring out the kids so that they can have fun. So this time around, it's going to be a 3-day program, and then we have the ticketing like adults, $100 is, and then you have the kids, it's $50 is with one free drink. Meaning technically it's just $25 is at the end of the day. That's what you're going to pay. And also we also have the corporate institutions that we invite. We invite them to buy tables because we don't want them when they come around to be hovering around, just walking around like that. So we decided to have like tables in form of a gala, and then we sell it to them, and then they usually buy it for their staff to come and enjoy.
Let's talk about the kind of food that you display that day, because it's very important and for our viewers right now. What kind of foods do you display on that day?
Yeah, because we have GTHI. They also have the menu that they usually serve the corporate tables. And then you have the local food vendors, the likes of Benechin will be there, Super Kanja with fufu or rice. And then you have ebe, you have snacks and the like. Once a time we had somebody who cooked, I don't know how they call it in English, it's Nul Pam. They call it Nul in Wolof. I don't know the name in English. So usually those rare dishes, you don't see many people cooking it at home. So if they come here and see, they were like, okay, can I taste? And then you see them buying. Once they taste it, they always go back and say, oh, this is nice. Let us just buy, and then they buy it. So those are the types of food that we're going to have on that day. And then also for the kids, we also have snacks. We have the likes of Icy Wonderland and the others. They also come in, and then, you know, people, they love this slush ice cream and the like. So all of those people will be here too.
Jërëjëf ñu ngi laa dalal ci programme bi dañ bëggoon rek nga wax ñu yow yaay kan. Xam naa ne Gambia moom suñ gisee sa kanam bi jarut introduction nañ xam ne ci looy yëngu wax ñu tuuti sax.
Okay, Soldier Pabla, aka Mr. Philin Kesse, aka Mr. Woyai. maa ngi nuyu the whole Gambia. Man la Soldier Pap, sen doom, sen raka, sen jalbaar, sen xarit, sen lu nekk, you know, ma parel tey pour event bi, you know, moo tax ma agsi fii tey, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
ñu ngi waajal event bu rëy mooy F&B dañ bëggoon rek nga wax ñu ci tuuti yow noo ko parele.
waaw comme dañ bëgg a Gambie yëpp génn si because na nekk event boo xam ne tamit xam nga lu mag la nekkul lu ndaw waaw dañ bëgg a ñëpp génn si man Soldier Pap dinaa fa nekk aka Mr Feeling dinaa wane lu ma mun te dinaa surprise ñu bare maa ngi ko over parel to be honest.
Interesting, the Food and Beverage Festival at Hyperlink. It's going to be an event with a difference, so get ready for it, make it a date. Well, viewers, this is all we have for you on this edition of the Smiling Coast. Do join us for another edition next week. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.